So the LG Optimus G Pro is here in the US, available exclusively on AT&T. And one key thing to know about the device is actually that it is 5.5 inches and a 1080p display. So this is the largest 1080p display smartphone on the market currently. You've got that 2.1 megapixel camera in the front. You've got a home screen that you can actually have an LED indicator, home button, sorry, LED indicator here. So it's flashing because I have an email. On the right side here, a couple of things I didn't mention in the unboxing. There's also another button here, which is like a QuickMemo button besides your volume rocker. We've seen that this contains 32 gigabytes of storage, expandable to 64. Now you can see the lock screen here. You do have options to jump into quick applications, and you can actually customize those. You can also customize your clock and all that kind of stuff, and you have access to your, of course, to your notification bar here. And that's the first thing we are going to jump into. So let's go open this up first of all. Click through, hit home here, and go to our notification. So our notification bar, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on in here. The reason that is the case is that there are a couple of things you can do with this device. It's got an IR blaster on the top, so which means we can set up remote control features, and you can see it right there. Once you set it up, it will always be in your notification center, which is pretty cool. At first I thought it was annoying, but I mean, if you want to use a remote quickly, why don't just scroll down your notification bar and have access to your remote control? So you have access to your remote. You say, if you look closely here, it says TV set-top box audio. I can jump between my TV, my LG soundbar, as well as my TiVo set-top box. Doesn't have full functionality, which is where it tinkers, but it still gives you some customability. Now you have your full notifications here at the bottom, which we can of course kill or cycle through. If you want to clear that out, we can jump into our settings by hitting that settings button. Of course, we can mess around with our display, and of course, these are the Q slide apps, basically your multitask apps. So I can easily pop that out and have that hover above my conversation here, which I have on Facebook. If I hit the home button, it still doesn't take away from my home screen. I'm just gonna move out a little bit here, and I can X that out. And then, of course, I do have my quick access settings here at the very top, which I can also customize to whichever form or format that I choose. Now, the other thing I mentioned, of course, are quick notes. Now, you can easily access it by hitting this button on the side, and that allows me to write on top of my notification screen, and I can hit the home button and clear that all out. So that is something that they've done to combat against the Galaxy Note 2. In Galaxy Note 2, you have the S Pen, you pull it out, you can write notes. This you can either pull down here, scroll to the right, hit QuickMemo, and continue writing, or I can just erase this all, or if I wanted to, I can tap. I always have QuickMemo floating on my screen there, and I can tap just to access that. So that's something that they've given you to actually use with the device. Now, the other thing too is that this device has a 13 megapixel camera here, and we'll show you the camera application. Sorry about that. So this is the device's 13 megapixel camera. The thing about the camera here is that it can do dual video recording, but it cannot do dual shot for photos. So unlike other devices that it can only do that for video, but you just record at 1080p, and the dual recording is only at 720. So it's really pointless showing you dual recording, other than the fact that if I were to go to record mode here, and I actually went into my record settings, I can show you dual recording here, and I can show you that you can see that's the other screen, and of course that's just pointing to the camera and the ceiling, and that's pretty much it. So the camera itself, it's all right. It's a good camera, but there's really nothing special to mention or write home about. I mean, it takes great photos in daylight, and we'll show you more of those photos. The LG Optimus G Pro. Daylight, do something, of course, low light later on, but recording at 1080p, I would have used the dual camera to record here, except that as you'll see, as you've already seen, only works at 720p. So this is a 1080p recording, just giving you a general idea of how this functions. I'm going to zoom to enhance the sound. Something we can do. We can actually zoom in and enhance the sound, which is interesting to note. So let's see. So thereabout. Cars passing by, always have to have that. And give you guys just a general idea. Again, this is nothing fancy, but just some recordings. So, as you can see, the display itself is a 1080p display. I'm going to just crank up the setting a little bit more. It's actually quite sharp. Gives you some very solid looking images in the background, and it looks quite vibrant. Now, in terms of applications and what LG is added in that aspect, now in terms of applications built in, not much here other than the QuickMemo, which we saw earlier. We do have things like voice command, but there's really nothing in terms of application in terms of the memo as well as the remote functionality. Those are the two key applications I think that really thrives and shines with the LG Optimus G Pro. It's a very solid device, priced at $199. I think it's a very good buy. If you're looking for something that's less larger, that's kind of is a phablet, I think this works well for you. I think also, you know, if you've seen the Galaxy Note 2 but you're looking for something different, I'm not going to compare in this review, so I'm not going to tell you if this is better or not right now, but I'll tell you this is a very good device on its own, standalone, because number one, phone calls, I didn't even mention that earlier, very clear, crisp. In terms of battery life, battery life is fantastic on this device. For the average user, you probably get close to 24 hours or slightly even more. I've got about 20 hours on there, and also there are no slowdowns, a lot of memory, a lot of inbuilt storage of 32 gigabytes, plus you got a 64 gigabyte SIM. So overall, I think this is a very solid device. So if you guys have any questions or any comments, let us know. Don't forget to subscribe to all our pages on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. It's all Booredatwork with 2 O's. So this is Thunder E saying thank you and always enjoy entertainment.